transition from junior high to high school isn't always the smoothest of experiences. With a new building to explore, new teachers to meet, and new academic challenges to undertake, the journey to high school can be a bewildering and intimidating experience. Hello, I'm Gloria Mueller, a member of the Glenbrook South Guidance Department. Last spring, another faculty member and I got together with a group of upperclassmen to discuss what freshman year was like for them. We covered a variety of topics, including the fear and anxiety they felt on their first day walking into class, and the role their parents played in the successful transition. Let's pick up the discussion as they talk about what high school looked like for them when they were in 8th grade.
It seemed unreal. It seemed very distant. There weren't a lot of emotions about high school. I think basically I was maybe just thinking about what's going on for the rest of the day in junior high, you know, because it just seemed unreal, you know, like I didn't ever think about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember thinking, I'm never going to be in high school. That's so old. I thought it was so far away, and then it just came up really fast.
I remember looking at my brothers and seeing that they were in high school and they looked so big, and I was like, wow, I'm never going to be like that. I have a long time before I start high school.
Well, so you were lucky because you had 2 or 3 older brothers.
3 older brothers.
You had been to the high school?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't in the school, the classrooms, as much as I was basically the cafeteria and the center part of the school.
Those are important areas to be in.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But it wasn't such a shock to you then on the first day of school in August when all the freshmen were here and you had to get your schedule and go from class to class, and for you that wasn't so horrible, but for some of the rest of you who are maybe first...
It was pretty horrible for me.
Yeah. Are you a first child in high school?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was totally unprepared because it seemed so unreal in the past. It hit very hard on that day, you know, and I felt like I had no preparation. I felt, man, this is unfair, you know? It's like they're just hitting me with my schedule and I have to go to all my classes now, and I don't even know where to start. So that's when I realized that high school was on its way. It was really not until the day before we started.
This is it.
Yeah.
All right, when you came to high school, did you come into a roadblock when it came to your grades? I have so many students come in as freshmen who had A's in junior high. And it was easy, and they got A's pretty much without doing a whole lot of work. What happened to, the wall hit. What happened to you? Can you relay some of your experiences with grades?
I know that people talk about junior high A's and high school B's, but I think it's all a matter of in your mind, you know, whether or not you want to keep up those A's or turn them into B's. I think it's all the effort that you put in yourself.
Yeah, and even if you try as hard as you can, you're not going to know, like, a lot of stuff in high school anyway. And I think that's where, like, sometimes teachers come in and counselors come in because you're going to need extra help, so you might as well ask them.
Yeah, definitely learn how to budget your time your freshman year right away. Don't start getting to bad habits of procrastination, because when I was a freshman, I procrastinated a little bit. I put stuff off, and I could still get away with it and get A's, but once I hit my sophomore year and I got into some harder classes, it was really hard for me to adjust. So my advice would be to learn how to budget your time as soon as possible, and then high school as a whole will be a lot easier.
I found that putting off most of the time just prolonged the agony of, you know, having to get things done, and it just made it better to get things done when they were due. And
I think I suffered a shock to the system as far as academics go my freshman year, because I did coast through junior high. I found myself coasting through junior high, and then when I got here, I tried the same coasting methods and hit the wall. But then, you know, my sophomore year, it leveled off, and my grades, I mean, now I've gone in for interviews in college, they've looked at my transcripts, and they've looked at my freshman year grades, and they've asked me if I was on drugs my freshman year.
What happened, Corey?
What happened here, Corey?
My freshman year grades were so bad. How bad were they?
But you had a hard time through your freshman year. Unlike now, you were very quiet and shy.
Yeah.
It was hard for you coming in as a freshman.
It was difficult. And I think that it's that way for a lot of freshmen. I think you learn to deal with it. You know, it's like you do, you adjust, and you learn to deal with the situation, and you see what you can get away with and what you can't, and, you know, what is the bare minimum and where do you need to push to. And then I was fine, you know, once I realized that it's not a joke, you know, and that these grades count. And I was fine, you know, once I realized that.
Grades are a major concern for freshmen and their parents, sometimes more for the parents than the freshmen. But we know that good grades come from good study habits. Here are some strategies that freshmen can use to get off to a good start.